Hello everybody, welcome to the I Am IT YouTube channel. My name is Shabazz Dan and as ever I am the IT Geek. Welcome back to the final episode of the AZ700 Designing and Implementing Microsoft Azure Network Solutions series. 37 episodes I counted, which is massive, another big series, following on from the SC300 one that we were doing that week. And obviously I've been doing this with Mohammed Sajid. It's been amazing to do this, and work with Mohammed Sajid on sort of this series, and the feedback's been amazing, and very overwhelming. So thank you everybody for your support. I hope people are following and passing the exam, and by all means, if you pass and any of my content has helped, by all means please do let me know. I always love hearing when I've helped people. So yeah, very bit tearful, not all. No, just happy that we've got to the end of the series. So let's get started. So we are finally here, the end of module 5 and the end of the series as well. So this is the secure network connectivity to Azure resources module. And we're going to finish off the designing and implementing a web application WAF firewall deployment topic. We'll talk about configuring rule sets for WAF on an application gateway. Then got a couple of topics including implement a WAF policy and associate WAF policy. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to hand over to Saj quite early on, because Saj covers both implementing a WAF policy and associating a WAF policy in his demo. So you had all me talking last episode, so I'll let Saj do all the talking today. So the first topic is configuring that rule sets for WAF on application gateway. So to take a look at some of the some of the actions you can do for a WAF on an application gateway. So you can view rule groups and rules. You can disable rule groups and rules. So be a bit cautious so when disabling any rule groups or rules. What this might do is may exposure to increased security risks. The anomaly score is not incremented and no logging happens for disabled rules, so you don't get alerted. So be wary of that. So you've then got mandatory rules as well. So there's a list of conditions that cause the WAF to block the requests when in prevention mode. And in detection mode, they're logged as exceptions, and these can be configured or disabled. And the first one is a failure to pass the request body results in the request being blocked. So unless the body inspection is turned off, so XML, JSON, form data, that sort of stuff. You've then got a mandatory rule, which is request body with no files, so the data length is larger than the configured limit. And then you've got a request body including files, which is larger than the limit. Finally, you've got an internal error action, which happens if in the WAF engine. So very short and sweet from me. I'm going to hand over to Mohammed Sajid, who's got a nice long lab for you. And this one is going to be looking at implementing a WAF policy, associating a WAF policy, configuring those WAF policy rules. So really good lab, I think, to end the series. So over to you, Saj.
Thank you, Shabazz. Hi, everyone. So in this demo, we're going to take a look in at a WAF, web application firewall. So if you've not created one before, you won't have any shortcuts. So you can either search for WAF, web application firewall, or create a resource and search for it there. And it'll take you to this screen. So we've already deployed one already. It can sometimes take a little while to deploy. So we just step through how to actually configure one. So if you select create, and you present yourself options, so policy 4. And if you look in the drop-down menu, you can have global WAF front door or regional WAF application gateway. So we'll select application gateway in this example. Resource group, put it in a new or an existing resource group. We'll put it into our demo resource group. Give it a name, is the 700 demo or 2 as an example. And policy state is enabled. And if you look at the information that says the WAF policy can be either enabled or disabled. So disabled policy will not be applied to any of the websites. By default, it is enabled, and you have policy mode prevention or detection. So one will take some action if it detects something, the other one will just detect and report. So leave on detection as part of this demo. Next, if we look at the managed rules, so these are pre-configured rules, and you've got OW ASP 3.2, which is the latest version. Then you've got 3.1, 3.0, and the Microsoft Bot Manager rule set. You can have one or more of those. If you select a lower one, it shows this to you. It says if you upgrade to 3.2, you will be moved to a new and improved Azure WAF engine. Once upgraded, you cannot downgrade. So if you upgrade to 3.2, and if you're using one of the earlier engines, then you can't downgrade. So we leave it as the latest engine as part of this demo. And then policy settings, you've got inspect body request. And if you look at the information here, it's enabled by default or off. If it's off, essentially these two don't apply. So if you enable it by default, it says if inspection is turned off, WAF does not evaluate HTTP message body. If you turn it off, the max request body size doesn't apply either. So it's set to 128 here kilobytes. We leave it on as part of this demo. Next, if you want to define any custom rules, so you've got all the rules as part of the managed rule engine here that is detecting. But you can also define custom rules. So if you go to add custom rule, you've got give it a name, assign a priority, and you've got match type, IP address, number, string, geolocation, and then does contain or does not contain, and IP address, because we're going to IP address here, and then deny traffic, allow traffic, log traffic, and then create your rule, and you can have a custom rule here. As part of this demo, we'll leave it default, we won't create any custom rules. Then you can associate that with the existing application gateway, HTTP listener application gateway root path. We have an application gateway, but it's not WAF enabled, so we'll cover that in a moment. So we won't associate anything here at this moment in time. Next, give it a tag, and then review and create. Then once you're happy with your options, select create, and it'll create one for you. So if you take a look at the one that we already created, again, exactly the same thing. Resource group location, subscription. Policy state is enabled. Policy is detection mode, not prevention. And then if you look at policy settings, we left the inspect body enabled. You can turn it off if you want. Manage rules. We've got OWASP 3.2 and all the rules that are enabled for that. And then any custom rules, and then associate with an application gateway. So if you look at our application gateway, if you just drop out here, so we can step back through this for you. So if you select the application gateway, and if you've not enabled it, if you look at settings, web application firewall, it says upgrade to WAF to increase your security. So we can go to WAF 2, and it says select a policy. We can select the policies that we've already configured and select save. Now we've associated our WAF policy once it actually completes it to this application gateway. Shouldn't take too long, I hope. So if we can see it here. There you go. Associated with the application gateway. Thank you for watching. Back to you, Shabazz.
So for the final time in this series, thank you very much, Saj. Big shout out to Mohammed Sajid. He's done, he's the way we did this series was he was actually working towards his AZ700 as well. So the labs he's doing is part of his own preparation. So looking forward to hopefully Mohammed Sajid passing this exam as well after all the work we've done. So yeah, massive shout out to Saj. He's done amazing, and it's been really good sharing this whole sort of journey with him on this AZ700 topic. And that's it from me. Another series done. So yeah, I'm just really grateful for all the support that we've had with this series, and all the nice comments, all the likes, all the subscriptions that I've had since this series has really helped my channel grow. So again, I've got loads more topics coming up. I've got some more book reviews that I'm doing. I'm doing some more nerdio content as well. I've got coming up, and I'm going to be doing the next sort of big series is going to be around Azure AD that I'm going to do. Which I think is really interesting. It's quite close to my heart as well as Azure AD. I think a very important topic. But this is going to be specifically Azure AD, not sort of IAM in general, because I've done stuff on that before. This is going to be Azure AD specific. Very deep dive look into Azure AD and all its features. So keep a lookout for that. So the links to the GitHub for you to follow the labs from the whole series are in the description. Mine and Saj's socials, LinkedIn and Twitter in this description. Please do follow or link, connect on LinkedIn, ask us any questions. Always happy to help, always happy to connect with people. And if you're not subscribed, why not? I said I've got some great content coming up. Please do subscribe, smash that subscribe button. So, for the final time in this series, until next time, goodbye.